Good afternoon, my people. Thank you for coming back to another Tony Montana video. This video is about why do people have multiple American People Terriers? Why do people want multiple American People Terriers? I even read people like, why? Who needs that many? Well, I'm going to try to put perspective of an American People Terrier owner about why some of us like to have more than one American People Terrier. And yes, some people have yards full of American People Terrier. But why? Why do we need this? First, I would like to clarify that we should not be in the need to explain ourselves, to explain why we have X number of dogs. Same as if we had X number of horses, or X number of cows, X number of chicken, X number of whatever rabbits. We should not be having to explain ourselves for the mere fact of owning multiple American People Terriers. Okay, I think that as long as the dogs are healthy, I see as my dog here, Cappy over there, he looks like a healthy dog. He's muscular. I do not keep them fat. I do not believe in keeping dogs fat. I do keep them nice, well, healthy, but they're not fat and they're not skinny. One of the reasons you could say they're not skinny or malnourished rather than skinny, because skinny is okay because this dog is a skinny breed, meaning skinny not being a bad thing. Bruce Lee was a skinny person. Okay, so when I use the word skinny, I don't mean to mean malnourished. I mean to say lean, an animal that is lean. Okay, so the American People Terrier is supposed to be a lean-looking dog. And one of the things that, but how can you tell a lean dog from a malnourished dog? Well, one clear way is if the dog has muscles. If the dog has muscles, that means the dog is not malnourished, because one of the things the body does is eat away, or really eat from the muscles. So it'll take all the muscles away from the dog before it's malnourished. Okay, so the dog will be lean, meaning it is not getting excess food. It is basically getting enough that it's able to continue to grow muscular, but retain a lean, a fat to muscle ratio. Okay, and so that is that point. So whenever you see a dog, especially in the news, they say, "Oh, they're skinny," or blah blah blah. Oh, look at the dog yourself. Don't take things for what they're telling you, because obviously they're trying to make a case. If we're talking about raids and stuff like that, many times I see those dogs, I'm like, "What are you talking about? That dog looks fine. That dog looks just fine." In the same way, why do we have more than one dog? Well, we are in love. A lot of us are in love with the breed. We love the breed. We want to learn all the things that we do learn from those individual dogs. Like, just because you have one dog doesn't mean you know the whole breed. Each dog has their personality. It has a unique personality, a unique way of reacting to the same things. And as a person that wants to be in the dogs, a person that wants to make this part of their life, or their life. To me, this is my life is the dogs, and everything I do, work, anything else is around my dogs. This is my. I don't make money out of it, but still my life. So when I'm home, when I'm working, I'm thinking about them. When I'm home, I'm with them. I do try to do as much interaction as possible. This type of bonding. Obviously, right now he's sleeping on the other side, but a lot of times he's just stuck, glued to my legs, type of thing. Glued to my legs with sleeping, but I don't have my legs all the way over there, so he's not coming this way. But same thing. Why do we have more than one dog? Because we also want to learn from them. All right, we are. This is not just dogs being pets. Yes, they're pets, but at the same time, they are teachers of the breed. They are teaching us what the genetics of each one is telling them to do and not to do, and how to react. In that way, we understand the breed better. Okay, so why do we have multiple American People Terriers? Why do we have yards full of American Pitbull Terriers because these dogs are being hunted down and literally hunted down, and they're using the public to use them to use. They're asking the public to help them hunt down pit bulls. True American Pitbull Terriers, the genuine deal they're trying to get rid of. Any dog that comes from lineage that had a fighting lineage, they want to get rid of. And I say it's not the dog, it's the action, it's the activity that was wrong. But we can have these dogs that came from, let's say, grand champions and whatnot, RMs, PORs. We could have those dogs nowadays without having to fight them. As you can see on my videos show dogs of the same gender together because because that's what I want them to do. Not be aggressive to some extent. I always say to some extent. Every dog is different, but I try to the best of my abilities and to the best of the dog's ability to have a level of socialization with other dogs. So that way, if the worst case scenario, a little dog running to my dog, and it's a strange dog, I'm hoping, this never hasn't happened, I'm hoping that my grown dog will not attack that dog, even though it's a, come here. Just in case he was leaving, because he looked like he was leaving. I want to make sure that my dog doesn't attack that little dog just because the dog's owner thought, oh, it's a little dog, it doesn't do anything. But yes, but there's leash laws out there. Everyone has to have their dog on a leash. But a lot of times, when this situation happens and it goes wrong, meaning the pit bull does what the breeding tells it to do, the genetics tell it to defend its owner, to attack other animals that are nearby. That's genetic, and it's not just the American Pitbull Terrier that has it. Many working animals have these traits of being animal aggressive, dog aggressive. So many of these are dog aggressive animals, not just the American Pitbull Terrier. But the way I do things, I try to help them try to make them smarter by showing them as much as possible for all those things. So why do we have multiple American Pitbull Terriers? Another reason why is because while I said that these dogs are being persecuted, I did not say that we need to safeguard the bloodlines. There's different all working breeds, and really all breeds have different bloodlines that you as a person may not agree. Like obviously, the bloodlines here for this American Pitbull Terrier relate to dog fighting of past, of history. So those dog fights define how the dog looked and how the dogs reacted. Same with all the breeds, all the working breeds. First, before the dog had a physical standard, the dog was working. There were different type of dogs that were doing different levels of the job. That there were different dogs that did it good enough, do it well, and did it great. And that way, they started grabbing the dogs that were doing it great and crossing them, breeding them. And eventually, because of the work, the dogs started to look similar to each other. Because for different aspects of the work, you might need, depending on the type of work, you might need a dog that physically looks differently. Maybe stronger, more bulkier because he has to carry things. Again, I'm giving you just idea. Or maybe guarding related. The dog had to be a certain size, different bite power, personality, things like that. Well, the American Pitbull Terrier, we all know that its history comes from dogfighting. So we have to acknowledge that. We cannot ignore the fact. We cannot, it is not educated for us to say, let's destroy it. We've destroyed our history. Our society has destroyed many things, have destroyed cultures, thinking they were wrong. Here is the Mayan, the Aztecs. Our ancestors decided that we should be destroying their history, their culture, because we felt we were wrong at that time. Same thing with American Native American to history, Native American belief system, Native American culture. They were all destroyed or were attempted to be destroyed by those in power, thinking that what they were destroying was the correct thing. But now we're smarter. And I tell you, people that are destroying or looking to destroy the American Pitbull Terrier, the dog, the breed, the society that breeds and feeds them, all that is being persecuted right now. All people that keep these dogs don't need to do anything wrong. They just have to have the dogs. They have to have some things like first aid kits. If you have a first aid kit, it's only used for dog fighting. No, there's all kinds of dog accidents that could happen. These again, when you're doing, when you have multiple dogs, you should have an emergency kit. Same thing with your family. You should have an emergency kit for your family. Doesn't mean you're going to be doing something wrong. Same thing like if you have a gun. Doesn't mean you're going looking to rob somebody just because you have a gun in your house. Things like that. You have to. You should not be taking what people or the media is saying as the whole truth. Open up your mind and think about what else. Like I said, first aid kit. Anyone with dogs should have a first aid kit. Anyone with American Pitbull Terriers should have breaking sticks. Okay, breaking stick is a potting stick, safety sticks. However you want to. Those are essentials for any dog owner. Not to say at all. I'm not saying dog fighters. I'm talking about dog owners of an American Pitbull Terrier. They should all have breaking sticks. They should all have first aid kits. You should all have an understanding of first aid in case you have to do it, and probably need to take care of something like superficial wounds, any scratches, things like that. The person should be able. The person again, just check the state laws around you to see what you need to take the dog to a vet for. But a lot of things, like if a dog has a scratch here, for example, from either a bad encounter with a loose dog or a stranger's dog or somebody's dog that got too close, that doesn't mean that you fighting the dog. And that's what happens, especially when you live in the city. I already have another video of me giving a heads up, recording it before it happens. I have one that's about a fight, and it's not my fault, kind of like that. Because I know there's a guy that walks with a pit bull that's growing. It's a 12-month dog that I keep insisting him to keep him on the leash, but it seems like it's not going to happen. So what's going to happen eventually is he's going to encounter one of my aggressive dogs like him, and it's going to be a fight. And because more than likely this person does not know how to handle his dog in a fight, he's going to leave me to do it all on my own, which is a lot more difficult. Okay? And so, by the time that happens, these dogs will have wounds. Okay? And that is when it's a good idea to have a first aid kit. That way any superficial wound, because again, these dogs have loose skin. So when they bite, they're not biting. They're biting like loose skin. They're not really biting bone. They're not really biting muscle for the most part. Sometimes they are. But all this is part of the protection. Okay? That's why they have loose skin. But why do people have multiple American Pitbull Terriers? Why? Because they love them. Because they want, these dogs are more than just dogs to them. These are treasures. These are part of the things that they want to give to their grandkids, and so you really have to think about it that way. These are treasures. These are, some people can have horses, thoroughbred horses, and some of us cannot. Some of us can just have a purebred or genuinely bred American Pitbull Terriers. You know, you can, inherit this or give this as inheritance to your kids, grandkids, and so on and so forth. And you can be proud that you can say in 100 years, your grandkid or your great grandkids say, these dogs have been in my family for 100 years. We've been breeding this together within the family for more than 100 years. That is, for me, for the layman, probably doesn't mean anything, but for a dog person, that is something impressive, especially because after 100 years, they probably may look at these dogs, those particular dogs will have a certain signature on those dogs of look, of acting, and that other people in the fraternity might say, "Oh yeah, those look like so and so." Let's say me, those look like Tony Montana dogs, even though I'm probably like 100 years dead, but oh yeah, those are Tony Montana dogs, things like that. And even though, like I said, it'll be 100 years from now, and that's one of the reasons. You may not, you as a layman, you as a critic of the American Pitbull Terrier, may not accept this as something that you are okay with. But remember, we are living so-called in a free country. We are living in a country where people should be allowed to live what they feel is their American dream. And this is, again, part of it. Okay? So why do people have yards full of American Pitbull Terriers? Well, I've covered everything. I've told you that pretty much it has the love for the dog, love for the breed, love because they want to protect the lineage of these dogs that were coming from 200 years ago, when the Irish and the English and Scottish individuals came from with their in their boats with these dogs. They imported, once they came here, they kept importing these dogs because they were their treasures in that country. Now they brought them here and they melted together, they bred together and created this wonderful American Pitbull Terrier breed. So if there is an American Pitbull Terrier breed, this is it, and we're trying to save it. And we're trying to save it a little piece at a time. Like I said, I want to keep my dogs. I want to give this as an inheritance to my kids, to my grandkids, and so my close family, friends. This is something that to me it's so valuable, and at the same time we are being persecuted for owning bloodlines of fighting dogs, and which shouldn't be the problem, shouldn't be the case. You could own guns. It doesn't mean that you're going to be using them for any illegal activity. Anyway, I hope you found some interest. Any thoughts here, feel free to put them in the comment section. Do like the video, do dislike the video. But if you dislike the video, go ahead and tell me why you dislike it. I would like to tackle it and I would like to address it. Again, this is an educational channel. Tony Montana is here to educate about the breed, to show you my passion for this breed. I understand that being Hispanic and owning this dog is 2/3 of the crime, but I do hope that people do leave me alone, do let me own this breed peacefully, happily. They are being well taken care of. They are not better off dead. So please leave me and my dogs alone. If you're listening and you have the power to screw my life, remember, please leave me alone. I have a family, and again, I'm the main guy here that does pay everything. So if you have a hate for the breed, just choose somebody else, because again, these dogs are living a good life. They're not outside being neglected. They're home. They're indoors, and again, they have to be taken care of. Otherwise, my neighbors will have already complained many times over. I live in a building, so obviously anything not normal would have been reported a long time ago. And I do understand that my neighbors downstairs, in the front and on the side, are really, really strong animal lovers. So They know my dogs, they understand my dogs, and they see that they're well taken care of. So please leave me alone. This is Tony Montana. Until next time.